Hey there, happy Friday. Welcome to my studio here in New York City. I'm Daniel Norton, and in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about choosing the right images. So I get this question a lot, and I thought that it just seems like a lot more recently for some reason, so I thought I would talk about it a little bit. And the question is, well, how come when we see the images you put on Instagram, for instance, or Twitter, or your Facebook group, they don't, or even the thumbnails here, sometimes they don't look necessarily like the images that we see you produce on Adorama. Not that they look differently in style, but their subject matter, the way they're lit, things like that. Like they have a different vibe, if you will. And the main reason for that comes down to you've got to understand your client, right? When I'm producing videos for Adorama, I'm teaching photography technique. And in order to teach the technique, you need to consider what becomes a teachable item and what isn't. So if I'm looking at something and I want to show how a certain type of light works, certain types of images just work better for that, right? If I'm trying to show something that is a technical aspect, certain types of images work better for that. Certain styles of shooting are more along the lines of what we want to teach people. Other things that maybe we'll call more advanced, if you will, or more intense are trickier to teach. First of all, they're very niche. And secondly, they're the kind of thing that you involve yourself with on maybe more of a personal level. So when you consider the shoot, I think that a lot of times, well, this is the idea, right? When you're watching my videos, is that hopefully you feel like you're just there with me, right? But you've got to understand that we are being filmed. There's cameras, up in the sky. There's cameras over here. I've got somebody switching the thing. And it's a much different situation than being on a set and shooting something like just with like you and the subject, or you and the subject and a makeup artist, a very small crew, whatever, very intently in a certain way. It's more like, actually, like shooting an advertising job. Like when I shoot catalogs, I've got an art director, I've got the client, they've got an idea. Things you typically see, like if you look in a catalog, right, or those kind of things, things usually have this more kind of middle of the road look to it. There's not a lot of extreme stuff, typically. And that's because those things are not easy to do in those situations. Those are the kind of moments that you get when you have personal access to people. So like when you're shooting editorial in a small crew, or you're shooting portraits on your own, you can do these kind of more interesting techniques. So that's one reason why just the image's vibe overall is different. But another main difference is that some things are just not easy to video, right? A lot of my more personal work that you see, I use dado light for. And I love dado light. I've talked about them before. I occasionally break them out into video, but they're much more difficult to shoot me in action using because they are constant light sources. And when I'm lighting up my subject with a constant light, then I can't be lighting myself or else it will interfere unless I'm doing big flat light. And if I'm doing big flat light, I might as well use flash half the time, so that's what I use. So when you're doing more intense lighting with constant lights, you can't really be filming the space as much. So those videos are a little trickier to produce, and then I don't find them to be as interesting for the style that I like to produce because, in case you haven't noticed before when you watch my videos, I like to shoot and let you guys capture the actual shoot, right? It's just what I do. You see a lot of people teaching, and I can do videos like this. If people are interested in videos like this, let me know, where I kind of more explain stuff and then show you a finished image versus you just over my shoulder. Because that's the only way I'd be able to capture these more kind of dramatic images of stuff that uses the constant lights, the heavy shadows, that kind of thing. The type of stuff that I can actually do with you over my shoulder in the space is generally the more with flash, in a controlled situation, the stuff that's got more space around it, if you will, a little bit more kind of in the middle catalog, advertising kind of vibe versus deep editorial stuff. You see people talk about doing editorial type images, and then you see the images and you're like, and again, I'm not throwing shade on anybody, but it's not the same when there's a camera crew over your shoulder. You can fake it, but it's hard to have real intense, interesting interactions with your subject when you are being filmed in the way that we are for these kind of videos. So that's why you tend to see a different image. And I used to use more of the kind of standard images I shoot for Adorama on my own personal thumbnails and stuff too, because that's kind of the audience, right? A lot of you guys that are watching this probably came from when I was solely working at Adorama on their creative team and doing those videos. Now, of course, I do lots of videos here. I do videos there still as well occasionally. And it's different, right? Different place, different time. And we can look forward to more of that in 2022 as well. Let me know what you guys want to see If you want to see videos like that, I certainly can produce them. I can also do some videos. I did some of these over the summer, I think, where I kind of show an image and break it down. If you want to see that kind of stuff, I could do that. And then you can start seeing more of these images that get into the meat of it. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. What do you guys think? Do you feel like it's a different vibe when you have a whole bunch of people standing around on a set versus when you're one-on-one or just a small crew? Have you experienced that? Let me know your stories. In any case, if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe, guys, ring the bell so you get the notifications, and I'll see you next time.